Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope you are doing great. Welcome, all of you, on this wonderful session that is hosted by the IEEE Young Professionals Karachi. Let's start with the name of Allah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, wa kafa wa salatu wa salam ala ibadihi allazina astafa. خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه رضوان الله عليهم أجمعين. فبعد. I begin with the blessed name of Allah and praise Him and glorify Him as He ought to be praised and glorified. I pray for the peace and blessings on all His noble messengers, and in particular the last of them, the Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companion, Ridwanullah al-Ajmain. So it is a matter of immense pleasure to have you all on this excellent event. Without wasting any time of you, I am your host for today. Actually, one of our YP volunteer had to do this role, but unfortunately she was sick due to flu and fever. I pray for his soon recovery. So I'm Mumtaz Hussain, Chair, IEEE YP Karachi, Young Professionals. Is your host for the today. Without any wasting time, let me introduce you to our guest of this session. She will be guiding you regarding the quality assurance, software quality assurance, and the automation. Ms. Fatma Fawad is currently working as a senior SQA engineer at Temples. She had over 6 years of experience working in the field of software testing and automation. She has worked with different national and international projects. With that, I would like to hand over the control of this session to Ms. Fatma. Fatma, आपके हवाले अब session है. Over to you.
Yeah, sure. So I hope everyone is doing well. So as Mumtaz had given me a brief introduction about myself, I don't think so there's any need for the introduction. Let's get started with our presentation first, and then we'll go through the Selenium. Let me share my screen first. Let me know if my screen. Mumtaz, you have disabled the screen sharing
Okay,
option. Can you
okay.
please open it for me?
Let me do that. Fatma, please check. Can you do the screen sharing right now?
Yeah, sure. Let me check it. Yeah, I can. I can now show the screen. But I don't think so. Okay, let me show the screen. Okay, guys, let me know if my screen is visible to you.
Yes, your screen is visible to me at least. I hope all are able to view it.
Okay,
Guys,
can you see the presentation, guys?
please, you can mention our questions on text. Thank you, Brother Tariq. And keep your questions noted down in your cell phones or pads. We have a few time at the end of the session to forward your questions to our guest. Over to you, Fatma.
Okay. So first is SQA and how we carry forward a project in to testing. And then I will go through a brief introduction of Selenium and how to create test cases in it. So obviously when you people all know that when you go, for example, you have to renovate your room and you say that I need my room to be colored this way, I need this furniture. So you people have decided something in your mind that these are my requirements and I have to renovate my room like this. Similarly, when we are starting any project, any software, we have some certain set of requirements and we build our project on that requirements, keeping in view the quality of the project. So first of all, let me know what is a quality of a project is. So quality of a software project includes client satisfaction. It also includes that there should be no defects in that project, and the developed product we are developing meet the set requirements. So what is first is what is client satisfaction. Client satisfaction is, for example, that I want my room to be I just want the color of my room to be off white. So obviously agar wo color thoda sa bhi upar niche hai to I won't be satisfied. So the first and foremost important in a software quality assurance is that client satisfaction is a very important part in a software development life cycle, and it's the client should be satisfied. Okay, fine. The client is satisfied, but now what? There should be no defects in that product. For example, you can say that, okay, paint to ho gaya, but what if the paint is like somewhere it's light, somewhere it's dark? So there's a defect in the paint. Okay, it's not matlab, that's been developed. The like for example, we can say that login has been developed. Okay, the login functionality has been developed by the developers, but login has some defects. Like for example, on some username and password, the user is not able to log in. So that's a very crucial defect in the login functionality. So the product should have the stable functionality with no defects. Plus, the developed product meets the requirement. So, what are requirements? Requirement is that, for example, a client said that, okay, I need the login logo in this color at top of the screen, at right hand side of the screen. So, we have to meet all those requirements. हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि we just develop the features and then give it to client. We have to see the requirements. We should see that there are no defects in the product and the client is satisfied. So these 3 points make a quality in a software. Moving forward, uh, we have to ensure that the product has achieved a certain level of quality. So how can we say that this product has achieved a certain level of quality? So to ensure that our product has achieved this level of quality, there are some standard set of practices on the web and all over the world, through which we use that guidelines and make sure that those guidelines and those points have been met in our software. See, I have already defined that there are some defined procedures and standards, and there are global standards which we have to make sure that our product is meeting those standards, and then applying those standards to our product. And then after that, for example, we have a product and we apply that standards and procedure to our product, and we analyze it through some qualitative data. We collect the points and then we analyze that how much sustainability our product has. So let's get through the life cycle of software development and testing life cycle. Okay, so in software development life cycle, as you all know, we start from requirement gathering, and this is the first and foremost phase of a software development life cycle. And as soon as this phase starts, a QA interacts with the customers, with the project managers, with the development team to require the to gather the requirements. As you can see, in the first phase, the QA is involved. So the QA is a very important part of a project. After the requirement gathering, we do the analysis in terms of is are these requirements can be included in the project, what risk factors it can have, uh, will it benefit us in the future, or we need to do some changing in the future. Keeping all these things in mind, we do some analysis. After the analysis are done, the requirements that we gather are fixed, and we can then move forward to the design phase. In the design phase, the UI team create the mockups or the design elements, and then they are then first tested by the QA, and then we give it to the client to see if they need any changes. After the design changes, the coding is done by the developers, and then after that it comes into testing. And again, in all these phases, the QA is a very important part, and they should part a very important role in all these. QA is a person who cannot be left out. And then after the testing and after all the things are covered, then we do the deployment. Okay, so what happens in software testing life cycle? It's the after the requirement gathering, when the analysis phase start, the tester here analyze the requirements as I've described earlier, and then we plan uh, how to test those requirements. So in test planning, we plan our risk factors, what systems to use, what can be our timeline. All these things are included in our test planning. Then we design those tests. How we design that? In that test design, we create the test cases of every module, and we review them through our peers and see if our test cases have covered all the things, all the requirements or not. Then we set up the environment. What does this environment setup mean? So for example, if we talk about the manual testing, so we need some devices to test on. So we should have those devices in hand. We should check the internet availability. We have to set up those devices in front of us and see if the things are working as expected or not. This is the environment setup part of the SQA cycle. Then in a test design phase, we have created some test cases. We execute those cases in the test execution phase. And after execution of the test cases, we have a proper data that how many test cases have passed and how many test cases have not passed. And according to that data, for example, if 50% of our test cases have passed and 50% is not, so we again test again and until we have at least 95% of the test cases are passed, we can say that our testing cycle is complete. If we are not on a 95% of test closure, then we cannot close our testing cycle. We have to keep on testing unless at least our 95% of the cases have been marked. And even in those 5% which are remaining, we should have no critical or blocker bugs. Only we can have low priority bugs, you can say that. Okay. So in this testing life cycle, we get some defects, or you can say them bugs. Okay, so what are those defects? We can categorize the defects in various categories. Like these are functional defects, like for example, our login functionality is not working. User interface means that the set UI mockups or the designs that have been passed by QA or the client are not meeting the standards, and the UI team has not for example, the color of the logo is instead of red is light pink. So these are some UI defects. The placement of the placeholders are not in place. These are all UI defects. So what are performance defects? Performance defects is like, for example, that after clicking on the login button, it takes a lot of time. A user has to wait for like 5 to 10 seconds to get logged in. And even So this is a performance defect. Through the errors as expected. For example, that if I'm not able to log in, so there should be some message shown on the UI that either your username or password is not correct, or some type of error. So if we have not handled that, that's an error handling defect. Oh, so signal our systems, which we sometimes actually ignore it, but we should not, because if your system is not as per the security standards, then anyone can log into your system. So we should make and login through different trials. So this is we have to see the security defects as well. Okay, configuration defects is, for example, we have to configure a software on a system and it's not installing, or it's giving some error while installing or while performing an action. So it's a configuration defect. For example, if you're using any, for example, if you have used Jira, it's a software for task management, project management, basically. So they have their documentation, and if there is any error, any grammatical spelling mistakes in that document, or we have some privacy policies that have been on our softwares, that we put on our softwares. If we have any defect, any type of like spelling mistake or the UI mistake, so that's a documentation defect. Okay, so we have basically three primary SQA activities. We have divided it into categories. The first one is technical reviews, the second one is software testing, and the third one is formal verification. For now, we will focus on web webinar, so we will keep our focus on software testing. So in software testing, we have we when we do testing, we have categorized into two main categories. That's a functional testing and another is non-functional testing. Functional testing may we have black box. We can either categorize into two more. It's black box and white box. White box is we don't know about the code. Usually unit testing is done by the developers, and gray box and black box is a manual type of testing. And in this testing, the we know what is happening, how we can so is there any error in the coding. But we should know that, okay, if I press the login button, if I enter the username password, if I click on the login button, I will be logged into the system, but I don't know in at the backend how it's developed. So that's known as black box or gray box testing. Okay, so let's talk about functional testing. Functional testing is unit testing integrate module 1, module 2, and module 3. So for example, module 1 has been developed and we have tested that, then module 2 has been developed and we have tested that, tested it, and then module 3 has been developed and we have tested it. So we incorporate all the three modules and do an overall testing. Integrate, basically we integrate all the modules and then do a overall system testing. Is basically end-to-end systems testing. It includes that if for example, if we have a mobile app and if a call comes, then how a system reacts on that call, and how our project reacts when an out hindrance comes. So this is known as a system testing. Acceptance testing is for acceptance testing is basically done by the QAs and the client. So we give the system into the client hand, and then see that, and then we can show them the things, and then ask for their input that do you accept what we have developed. So this is the acceptance testing, and it is known as it is more categorized in alpha and beta. Alpha is that when we give the build to the client, and beta is when the internal team test it. Okay, then comes the non-functional testing. Non-functional is the security, performance, usability, and compatibility. Security means that no one can use your data, that your system should perform well. Like there should be no loads कोई नहीं होने चाहिए. Like it should even if even if you compromise the internet quality, it should behave well. So this is performance. I can have a whole session on the performance testing, but let's focus on today's Selenium. Okay, then comes the usability. How usable is your system means how easy it is to use for person, for a novice person who doesn't know how your system works. But उसके लिए अगर चीजें आसान है, two different exploratory testing you use by comparing our system with as like systems others to users is to use the system. If it's compatible with the OS, different OS versions. For example, if you have a mobile, we have different OS in the mobiles, and they can use OS operating system basically. So that's a compatibility testing. Okay. So now, what is software automation? Let's get focused to this point. So होता क्या है कि we have a set of test cases, and we keep on manual basis, we keep on testing that build I, we keep on testing those test cases, and am I audible?
Yeah, I guess there was some internet issue. You are audible now. And sorry to interrupt you
Okay.
all. Our this session is going to expire in 2.5 minutes. So don't worry. Just rejoin the link, and we will resume the session.
Okay.
Uh,
Is my screen visible to you people?
yes, your screen is visible to your to us all, and audience are requesting to do the slide share. Text size might not be visible to them.
What I didn't get here.
Presentation को full slide
Okay,
show
let's.
में कर दें आप.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you.
I don't know. Okay. So I don't know, my internet connection is really unstable right now. Okay. So now मैंने जैसे बताया कि we cannot run 1,000 test cases every time. We have there that's the point where automation comes. So it's what is automation? That it's a creation of application to produce जो है to produce
Fatma, please,
deliverable goods and
sorry,
services with minimal human intervention.
Fatma, sorry to interrupt. Please share your screen.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Just share your screen. Your camera is on, but your screen sharing is not on.